Back for the last round after a long delay matchmaking at this final tier. This is kind of like a bubble match where like 3 wins is break even and 4 wins is slight profit. So it all rides on this. See, now we have Island, Snow Island, so the jig is up, basically. Or at least it will be if this is my next land. And my opponent is ooh, is aware of what's going down in Chinatown. Not sure why there specifically, but go ahead and leave up snare or path. Hopefully my opponent just like plays a blighted agent. Kind of works. Play another one. Rancor. I want to get rid of that. And that's why Talisman's way better than Signet. Rancor is a beating. Also, my opponent definitely should have sequenced that the other way, at least to bluff. My life doesn't really matter. So I'll just spew off this life point to fetch this turn instead of next. Especially because I might as well get my watery grave here since I already have all the white and blue I need. Ink Moth is annoying. Thankfully, Thopter Foundry is decent against it, if I can get it online at least. Let's draw... I mean, straight sword would be nice, but I'd take Gifts, Thirst. Ghost Quarter, Cryptic. Lots of good draws. Another path. The Snapcaster. The Serum Visions even at this point. It's amazing how quickly you go to endgame status. Oblivion Ring. I don't think this is worth it. But like, what else is it doing? It's the problem. I guess I should have gotten the Hollow Fountain after all, because now I can O-ring this, and then sacrifice the Talisman and block, and bait out a pump spell, and then the turn after, sack the Thopter Foundry and block. I don't really want to have to just take 2 to the face, because 2 pump spells is lights out. I guess it would have to be like Groundswell or something messed up like that. Or Might of Old Krosa, I could chump. If the 3 cards are land, Groundswell, Groundswell. Because if they just play land attack, I'm not going to block. So if it's land, Groundswell, Groundswell, and they go for it, we lose. But if it's Might of Old Krosa, ooh, Pendlehaven. Well, I'm glad I didn't waste the O-ring on the Hierarch then. Definitely gonna need to find a sword or something quickly. Hey! Hey, buddy! It's as if it is a combo. Very similar to a combo. I'm going to activate it once now. For good measure. Blue. We have another Rancor? That would be pretty good. Slip through space. Fair enough. My Wrath is looking a little better. Assuming this last thing isn't a 1-mana pump spell, which would be lethal. Oh man, please play Vines with Kicker. Can I not counter it? Oh no! I thought I could snare that for some reason. Butts, butts, and double butts. Alright. Game 1 is miserable, so the fact that we were actually close is pretty good. Disenchant, Dispel, Negate. Kind of like Hercules, honestly. And then obviously Gut Shots. Wraths, no bueno. Explosives, good. Elsnorn, obviously great. Cryptic is probably just too expensive. Muddles are great. Combo is great. Spellsnare is interesting. It hits Blighted Agent and the Phyrexian mana Avoid Fate, whatever that card's called. Avacyn's Blessing or whatever. Acolyte's Blessing. It's been very long since anybody played that card because it's obviously terrible against Eldrazi. But now that the Eldrazi are back, have they adjusted? Do they know that they're supposed to be doing that now? Maybe not. The thing about Snare is that even though it's not great, it's just cheap interaction. Maybe that's not good enough. Maybe they're all about dispels and stuff. These are just no good, and I just want to make sure that I can win the game. Once I get to this point, I wouldn't doubt that that's the way to play it. Remand does not seem good. Or does it? I could like go to kill something, and they try and save it, and then I remand and kill it again. That's pretty expensive. I feel like I want these snares, even though I can't really put my finger on why. Like what specifically they're for besides Blighted Agents. Alright, YOLO. I don't think we want Hercules, just for Inkmoth. We have Ghost Quarters and Gut Shots and Paths and whatnot. Hey, nice hand. I think I'm just going to lead with T-West, because casting Thirst on 3 is pretty valuable. Although, if I just fetch Hallowed Fountain right away, I can cast Serum Visions and probably find something. And T-West can find Explosives, which is good, because it's a removal spell that doesn't target. Yeah. Sword. And lands that I don't really want. Unfortunate. I think I'm going to bottom both of these and then just play T-West next turn. The sword is fine, obviously, because I have these thirsts, but I have a lot of cheap interaction in my deck. I'd rather just dig to that than make sure that, you know, I get value out of my T-West. Oh, more stuff for my thirst. I'm just going to bop this now. Gutshot's a good trump if you go, like, path your thing, they use their pump spell, or their protection spell, then you Gutshot. You get the 2 for 2, but not worth the risk. That's a good draw. Inkmoth is definitely the scariest, but... And Pendlehaven. Wonder if they just move in for 2 here. If so, that tells us a lot about their hand. Okay, they didn't. That also tells us a lot about their hand. Specifically if they have a Vines or something like that. Or playing around Snapcaster Gutshot, I guess. Just discard this. Another one of those matchups where you really want to use your Muddle as Muddle. So I'm not super hyped about transmuting it for Thopter Foundry, even though I drew the artifact. I'm going to play the Talisman even though I have a Thirst, because I want to discard a right. So I'll discard rights in like a land. More effective, I think. Or a more worthwhile way to spend my cards. Even though, you know, the infect opponent flooding a little is good, it's a lot easier to play against them when they are tight on mana. Yeah, if they pump here, I'm just gonna gut shot and muddle their protection. Especially because they already played their land, so they're not gonna play another Ink Moth. Mutagenic. Yeah, priced in. Maybe not. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I want to do it now because if their other thing is vines, then they have to use it in protection mode rather than kicked. Alright, cool. If it was groundswell, we would have just been cold. But we'll take 2, go to our turn, cast our thirst, and see what we can come up with. Nice. Well, I have another thirst to discard the rights. So I can discard the sword now. And if my opponent... Dryad Arbor. If my opponent just straight up attacks and pumps... Well, if they pump, I'm going to path with Muddle back up. If they played a normal land, I think I would let it happen, but... As is... I think I just want to do this. Apostle's Blessing. That is the card that I was talking about earlier. That is spell snareable. Now I have to just make sure I don't die to Dryad Arbor beatdowns. Pendlehaven back to beatdowns. Hey! That will just about wrap it up. With 2 swords, you don't have to do it sorcery speed, because if you activate it and they kill the Foundry in response, you can just activate the Foundry in response again with the other sword. Alright, not out of the woods yet. I'm gonna use my mana thusly. Sure, sure. LOL. So my opponent will go to 10, and then I'll have 3, 4, 5, 6 power. So the Colonnade's lethal. Well, bam. Should have attacked first. So my opponent actually has to throw away their Glistener Elf to prevent lethal. Yup. Okay. I see. That'll do it. What is it? 9, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 damage off lethal. I don't know why I'm doing this in the most annoying, inconvenient way, but here we are. Oh, colonnade, duh. Oops. It would be an impressive comeback, but definitely not impossible. Definitely a miss lethal. I was too amused at how inefficiently I was stacking my triggers. Alright, so I think I want spell snares, especially on the draw if they have the blessing. Gifts probably just too slow, maybe. Explosives is slow, but like doesn't target, can sweep up, you know, an elf and a hierarch, and I can Academy Ruins lock them, which is not game over because they still have Inkmoth, but really strong. Maybe just 1 gifts for 1 snare. If I have both my snares and draw them both, I mean, the opponent only has like 7 targets for it. I guess I'm happy with 1 snare. Oh no! So close! Fewer Serum Visions. This would be a real nice one. Opponent Snap kept 7 on the play also. I'm gonna draw with a Scry. I mean, it's a 5-card hand, but the 5 cards are good. The problem is I'm redundant. Like my Disenchant and my Ghost Quarter both deal with Inkmoth, but I have no answer to like a Glistener Elf. Okay. Still need some help, but did they just activate an attack? I think I have to. Alright, no mutagenic is good. I hate how I set up my thing was redundant and then I got by a double Inkmoth draw. It was a little tempting to play this and float a blue in case I draw my another Visions. But I could also draw one of my Colonnades and want to play that tapped. Well, I want this Disenchant because of this thing. And I want the 3rd land, so yes, please. I need the land first, though, if you don't mind. They just activate then. Okay. I can get out in front of that. I have to be careful that this is here because Nature's Claim can release it from my shackles at any point. Definitely be a lame way to lose, like losing track of surprise attacker. Alright, I'm soaking up 2 here. And then I have Disenchant. Do I main phase the Thirst to make my land drop? Because holding up Disenchant, I don't want to use Disenchant into a counter without Muddle backup. And with Hierarch, they have plenty of mana. Like, what is their hand that they're developing like this and didn't have mutagenic? They have to have at least 1 protection spell. Yeah, I'm gonna Thirst and hope we don't die. I could also just spike on Burial Rites, that'd be sweet. Please don't kill me, opponent. Please let me just have this. I want it so badly. Please have nothing. 2 pump spells and I'm dead. They have the land for, you know, Groundswell and multiple pumps. Please? No! Don't do it! That doesn't change the clock at all. Still has to be 2 pump spells. Oh no, I have 2 poison. I thought I had 1. No, so close. Are we doing it? Okay, are we doing it? Grand Sindelbite is here. Big Mama. I hope your hand is Blessing, Nature's Claim, Dispel. Yes! The 4/7. The Archmage. The Showstopper. That is awesome. And assuming I don't draw something that changes anything, I think I'm actually going to O-ring my D-Sphere to kill off the Blighted Agent and turn my Disenchant into an instant speed removal spell. Although, I guess that doesn't make sense, because I want my Disenchant for the Nexus, which is protected from the Ellis Norn for now anyway. So, I'm better off just attacking for 4 with Muddle Disenchant up. I can actually play Sword of the Meek, hold up Muddle, / Disenchant, but not both. Equip, and equip when I go for the kill. Like, playing an equipping Sword of the Meek takes 1 turn off the clock, because it's 4, 8, 12, straight up. Can't tell if my opponent is thinking of a way out or tilt disconnecting at the Praetor. I always wondered, is that her, like, part of her face, or is that a fancy headdress? Hard to say. This is territory of tilt disconnect, I think. Because if it was think of a way out disconnect, or think of a way out pause, they would just, like, crack their fetch, draw their card for the turn, and then go into the tank. Because they obviously can't do anything right now. Getting the feeling this is some BM, but I want to believe in viral code. We did it. There you have it. A 4-1 finish. With our only loss being like a total heartbreaker where we were very much in it and very close to winning, and I might have messed up towards the end and we still almost won and then got peeled on. And that was our only loss. And we played like all bad matchups. So, suffice to say, thumbs up from me. I like the deck a lot. It is just my style and obviously super powerful. If your metagame is a bunch of combo, you might want to consider something else. But if you are facing a lot of aggro and dirtily mid-rangey nonsense decks, then this is a good place to be. Thanks for watching, everyone.